Used to flip more H than Vanna White. Stained my desk from the vapor of a crack pipe. Snorted Basse from a canudo in Bogota, Colombia. Trafficked methamphetamines over the Columbia. Dropped more acid than those kids at Coachella. Smoked a whole lot of weed with the fellas. One time PCP had me fighting with the Oriole on my Baltimore hat. The only thing I'm addicted to is rap.
My friend wanted everyone to do shrooms for his birthday, but his roommate was more pharmaceutical than organic. He'd take them as long as we all took a whole bar of Xanax, so he wouldn't freak out and he wouldn't have to babysit us if we freaked out. We walked up Vine Street and through a series of wrong turns we got to the base of Griffith Park. We were only a few feet into the park before we saw someone we hated. He always caused fights at the comedy night at the Big Fish, so we veered off the trail to avoid him. We had to run by giant bees, which may or may not have been hallucinated. Soon we realized we are lost in a thicket of trees. At one point we get to a huge clearing, nothing but nature. You couldn't even tell we were in LA. We thought we were in Jurassic Park. The only gash of capitalism in sight was the gleam of a chain link fence on top of a mountain. We went for it. We climbed up a fucking mountain, and I'm not exaggerating. Our sweaty faces scraped up against the dry dirt. We wormed our way up to the fence. By the end, we were covered in mud. As we climbed up to civilization, we were met with the screams from the tourists who were admiring the beautiful view up at the observatory. Until us mole men burrowed into their view. The glowing head of James Dean stared us down, giving us a wink, letting us know that he knew what was about to happen. The Xanax was wearing off and the madness was about to take over.
Used to flip more H than Vanna White. Stained my desk from the vapor of a crack pipe. Snorted Basse from a canudo in Bogota, Colombia. Trafficked methamphetamines over the Columbia. Dropped more acid than those kids at Coachella. Smoked a whole lot of weed with the fellas. One time PCP had me fighting with the Oriole on my Baltimore hat. The only thing I'm addicted to is rap.
The first time I ever smoked crack was when I was on Molly. Good golly. I was hanging out with a crew in Echo Park and I didn't want to seem like a narc, so I smoked some rock. One of them suggested that we go to the Gold Room for free tacos. I didn't feel hungry, but I went anyway. This was back in the early 2000s, so it was still pretty hood. They still had that back room you could smoke cigarettes in. You could get a shot of tequila and a beer for $4 and a shot with a bullet for even less. The crew went up to go smoke and I was just trying to stay upright. I remember clutching onto the bar and praying that I would stop vibrating. I stared down at the ground and saw a small glint of some bling under the table. Something about crack cocaine gives the user a certain superpower to notice valuables. A few feet over, I see a guy with a Trace A tattooed on his face, and he was on his hands and knees looking around for something. Any other day, I would have kept to myself. However, that soft, emotional openness that Molly gives you gave me the confidence to yell over the music to a gang member that, "Hey, your ring is over there." He picked it up and ran to me, and I flinched. "Damn, fool, you saved my life. You don't even know." He turned to the bartender and pounded his chest. "Pago las bebidas." It was an engagement ring he was going to give his girl. He dropped it when he was showing off some friends, and he thought someone stole it and he was about to shoot up the place. I took him up on his offer for free drinks and got so drunk the crack wore off. Later, a guy spun me around and accused me of spilling his drink, which, to be honest, I probably did. He told me to buy him another. I refused, not because I am tough, but just I didn't have any money. He shoved me over, and when I got to my feet, he pulled out a knife. I asked him to put it away. He yelled, "Who's gonna make me?" Just then, I felt a hand on my shoulder. It was my amigo with his 13 on his face and 6 of his Vato friends, and he answered, "Mara Salvatrucha, motherfucker."
Used to flip more H than Vanna White. Stained my desk from the vapor of a crack pipe. Snorted Basse from a canudo in Bogota, Colombia. Trafficked methamphetamines over the Columbia. Dropped more acid than those kids at Coachella. Smoked a whole lot of weed with the fellas. One time PCP had me fighting with the Oriole on my Baltimore hat. The only thing I'm addicted to is rap. Hey, top flight, I sold my bike for a mic.
Oh, that was your bike?
Look, my bad, I'll get you another one you'll like. You got any food, man? I've been on this hunger strike. Shit, I live in my car, I'm always on tour. Restaurants around town know I like the soup du jour. One man's trash is another man's treasure, and I'm an entrepreneur. I'm really big in the underground. My mixtape went gold in the sewer. A drug addict? Hell no, man. I'm not adding anything. I'm a drug subtractor. I'm not going to live forever. Live trash, die scum.